Hi, my name is Chris Liddle, and I am the host of The Lifestyle Chase. In 2018, I started this show to have meaningful conversations. I've interviewed over 100 different people, both in and out of the fitness industry. This podcast is something I'm incredibly proud of. Welcome to Season 4. Thanks for joining me. You outlined how you have the differences of the people on your team and how like some people have some strengths, other people have other strengths, and then their weaknesses kind of match with the other person's strengths kind of thing. The thing that I like is like as I meet different people in different parts of my career and learn about their strengths, I start to realize like that person is better on teaching on that topic than I am, even though I might like be older than them or more experienced than them. Like they're able to just make it more clear and clean cut. And so then I can like utilize them for that specific aspect. And we're going to segue into content creation here. So earlier you talked about how you're starting a podcast, and I know you've put in a lot of effort into creating better and better content for social media and stuff like that. What is the motivation behind that for you? Like, is it a business thing? Is it just like a creative bug for you, or what is it?
I just enjoy this medium, like just talking, and I think everybody's a little bit like just tired of social media and sometimes the lack of personality that can come with it. And people can say like, hey, you just need to write better or whatever. But like, it's just, I much prefer this spoken format where I can show a personality and that I can just talk shit in a way that is me and it is not fake. Like when you're reading things, you're like, it's just hard to get that emotion, that message across, even if it's the exact same words. It's just it can come across completely different. I don't know. I just like this world, and the fact that we can talk about a question, explain it fully in depth, so they can't be taken out of context, and people can't nitpick and fucking start internet wars. But also we can go back and forth on it and talk about our different viewpoints on it. I don't know. I just much prefer this longer term.
Definitely.
Format.
Well, I mean, I'll kind of share my experience with my podcast with you. Like when I first started my podcast, it was 2018. I was working in a facility that was structured very much like yours. Basically, people that came in had to be working with a trainer. You couldn't just come into like a public drop-in or anything like that. And everybody that I was working with had a podcast. And so when I first started it, there were some comments that like, well, are you just doing a podcast because everybody else around you is doing a podcast? And I was like, well, no, like I like to listen to other conversations, and sometimes there's a question that pops up that's not getting asked and I want to know the answer. And sometimes like there's somebody that I wish I could hear on a podcast and I can't find one. And so I'll be the one to interview them kind of thing. And it started out like that, and I started out interviewing people that were mostly like local to Edmonton. And then as time went on, like especially with the pandemic, I started doing more like video calls, and then I was like, oh wow, like I can interview all kinds of different people. And then I would like answer my own like life questions through the podcast. Like if I was like trying to figure out something, just like I want to travel, where do I want to travel to? I might interview somebody who travels. If I was like, I'm working with this client that's struggling with this, I would pick out someone who that was their strength and see how they would handle it just by like learning about their career and their journey and stuff. And so it's like probably been one of the most transformative things in my career because of how much it's networked me and how much it has taught me and how I've been able to work on my weaknesses by learning from other people's strengths and stuff. So anytime anybody else is looking to start a podcast, it gets me pretty fired up because I know how like deeply meaningful it can be for a person, especially if they're doing it for the right reasons, which it sounds like you are totally. So let's hear who are the first kinds of people that you want to interview. Who is on your bucket list for people you want to interview?
I don't know. It's honestly in planning stages. It's not like launch. It's not like doing anything. It's not like all we've done is created the room in the gym, made it all nice and relaxing and I guess like nice to be in, so that it's a place for conversation type thing. So I mean, the audience that we're going to be looking at is it's kind of like our lifting community rather than like an educational community. Like I want to talk about lifting things to lifters, but not in a straight educational format, just a little bit of a fun side to it, like just tell stories about like, because I just know so many people in the industry. I've been around long enough to know so many people that are fantastic athletes, fantastic educators, fantastic, just interesting people in general that have a lot of really cool stories that involve both of us that I'm like, fuck, this just needs to be told. These need to be put out there. I think they really will be entertaining as well as somewhat educational, valuable to people. And that's the best way to do it. It's the best way to do it and the best way to consume that, rather than me trying to type it out in an email or trying to type it out in an Instagram post. That's just much harder to get the same sort of emotion in with it.
And so you're going to have like a in-person space to like do the show? Or are you going to always have people? Yeah, perfect. That's awesome.
I mean, there's going to have to be, like, I couldn't, obviously, you couldn't come over and be there unless you're willing to spend thousands of dollars to get and time to get there. So, I mean, like, obviously there's going to have to be a time and place to do calls like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, as many people as we can get in there, I feel like it's a bit of a snug experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's how I used to run my show, because I felt that like you almost get to exchange, like not in a woo-woo way, but you're getting other people's energy. If they're really passionate about something or talking about something that's heavy on their heart, you're there with them in the room, and you're like, it's a compassionate moment. It could be a major like aha moment if they are like sharing something that like was pivotal in their life, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that hit different because this person's like right across from me, like saying that. So I'm glad that that's like the approach that you're taking with it, because that's, you just get more out of it from being in person with people.
Yeah, and I'm honest, I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited. It's like I said, it's still in planning stages, still working out the strategies, frequency, thing like that. Stuff that you would have been dealt with years ago, but no, it's an all exciting process. So like I said before, when you're talking about like stuff to do whilst the gym stuff's coming, like plenty of stuff to do.
Absolutely.